Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's fourth final video. We're going to have a look at weather for the next 10 to 14 days. For today's final video, day 10 will take us to the 28th of March. We'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM Ensembles. Maybe around a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at CFS V2 at the end of the video. For the next 4 weeks, that gets us well into April. I shall get on with that video in a moment. Just say that the first video, say, was 6 AM upload. We've also released weekend forecast and the ECM 42-day / 6 weeks forecast as well for UK and Ireland. So please check out those 3 videos if you'd like to do that. Like, share, subscribe on vids. Thanks so much everybody for doing that. Thank you so much for all of your messages of concern and support after I was a little bit on poorly side on Thursday with migraine. So I'm doing a lot better today, feeling pretty much back to normal. So thanks so much everybody for all of the support. And sorry that I had to cancel the live stream last night, but I will be back live streaming again on Monday at 8 PM. Right, let's start off central temperature. The CT is now sitting at 4.9, beginning to lift up quite quickly now. That's only 0.8 of a degree below average, so really are starting to offset that cold first 10 days or so that we have of the month. We are still below average though, and that is provisional up to the 17th of March. It'll be interesting to see where that ends up, won't it, by month. These were GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. Looking at London today, the red line is above 30-year upper air temperature average for London. We're starting off above average at the moment. We're going to go closer to normal around the middle part of the coming week and into the second half week, and then possibly a bit of a cold snap opening up there through the final week and the final days of March. Maybe by the beginning of April, we see signs of recovery in most upper air temperatures. But overall, it does look as though we might be in for a little bit of a colder final week of the month. If we do get a cold snap in the last week of March, I would think that will probably steer us in to a colder than average month overall. But it's still a little way off. You can see, but this isn't going to be until like the 26th, 27th of March until we get to month ending that window just there. So a little way off, but the GFS Ensembles have shifted in that direction to turn things colder for a while anyway, through the final week of the month. Before that, though, quite mild, especially in the next few days, and also unsettled. There is going to be more precipitation to come, so regular rainfall spikes really as we go through the remainder of March and maybe even into the start of April. Temperature anomalies from the 18th to the 26th of March are going to be milder than average across most parts of the country and Ireland including that. Scandinavia, or certainly central northern Scandinavia, is still looking quite cold, but elsewhere across Europe it's a relatively mild week to come. And precipitation anomalies from the 18th to 26th of March are either going to be average or wetter than average, and particularly so for more northern and western regions. The latest Windflow Map from urbanlowschool.net shows that we're sitting under a trough of low pressure today. Got a trough of low sitting through the country there. And that's going to keep things very showery. But it's a ridge, though, that's waiting in the wind. So we've got one area of low pressure just there, another low just there. That low will be with us on Sunday night into Monday. But between there, we've got this little ridge just here. And that ridge will bring us some drier weather tomorrow. We do get a bit of a weather window tomorrow. Right, okay, so I go for chart data then. This is how late you can make your run looking big by on Tuesday. By the way, we're adding chapters to the 10 to 14 days now. I don't know whether anybody will want that, so let me know in the comments if you find the chapters useful, if there's certain parts of the video that you prefer over other parts, and that's fine if that's the case. Say you prefer chart data and whatnot. So now adding chapters where you can go straight directly to the section of the video that you enjoy the most. So just something which I'm trying out, and we'll see how that goes. Anyway, going through the chart, let me know in the comments if you think that's a good idea and find that useful. Okay, go through the chart data then. This is how latest you can make your run. It's looking for midnight on Tuesday, with low pressure in from off the Atlantic, And these areas of low pressure will keep coming at you as we go through next week. You know, but there'll be regular bouts of rain coming in from and it's not continuously wet. There will be some windows of dry weather, but overall looking quite unsettling. You will notice that winds are turning increasingly to the north on the northern side of this area of low pressure by next weekend. So by next weekend, this will be like Saturday as well we get to with the UK Met Euro run. By then, colder air is definitely starting to dig back into Scotland. If we take this area of low pressure to the east, then we will open the door to those colder north and northeasterly winds. ICOM looks like that. Again, low pressure is in from off the Atlantic on Tuesday, and that area of low pressure will keep coming through next week with bouts of rain heading in from off the Atlantic. Isn't unsettled scene by next weekend. This area of low pressure going a little bit more of a southerly track, allowing colder air start pushing into Scotland. And so as that low pressure clears through during Saturday next week, as well as we get to with UK Met Euro, yes, the wind is pulling into a colder north or northeasterly, and down is coming -5 Celsius iceberg with -10 Celsius iceberg heading in towards the far north of Scotland. So signs that things getting colder there next weekend with ICOM. GFS midnight run once more with that area of low pressure in the Atlantic on Tuesday, and the lows keep coming through next week. A conveyor belt of low pressure, bringing regular bouts of rain and wind in across the country. That's midnight on Sunday. Not as far east with that area of low pressure, so not putting down much cold air except into Scotland, with wind going into northeast. However, you will notice that heights are rising in the North Atlantic, and so just beyond that, a couple of days beyond, you know, when ICON does it, the GFS midnight run does turn it colder and gets wind in from the north and northeast there around days 9 and 10. That's day 10, Tuesday 28th of March. We are looking cold again with winds coming from a northerly direction. Upper air temperatures clearly showing that -5 Celsius iceberg has pushed through the country. It doesn't last all that long. The next area of low pressure deepens in the Atlantic and returns us to wet and windy weather again as we go into the closing days of March. So the onslaught from the Atlantic continues all the way up to the beginning of April, as far as we get to the GFS midnight run. It's to the 3rd of April. And although I have got a bit of a ridge into southwest, then basically low pressure is still in control from off the Atlantic. GFS 6Z once again looking unsettled on Tuesday, and that low pressure keeps coming through the week as we go into next weekend. The low pressure shifting a little bit further eastwards. That allows the wind to pull into a colder northerly as we get to around days 8, 9 and 10. We've got -5 Celsius iceberg there coming through the country, returning us to colder weather by day 10. And actually it turns very cold up in the north by day 10 on the GFS 6. Looking at -10 Celsius iceberg pushing into the northern half of the country. A little bit unsure about that. That would be quite unusual for late March. But certainly the ideas there with both the GFS runs that there is a colder interlude there as we get to get into the final week of March. Beyond that, high pressure reaching through the country. That's a cold ridge, so it would give night frost, of course, with strong sunshine by day. Probably wouldn't feel too bad. And then we go into early April. We start trying to raise high pressure over Scandinavia then. So that's how long as we get to the end of the GFS 6 there. With that ridge through the country, heights building up over Scandinavia. Easters in April tend not to be that cold, but they can have a raw feel to them. No, we just have to wait and see where that goes beyond that. We probably will, you know, as we go further on through the spring, we can expect Scandinavian high and east winds at some point, because spring is the most easterly of the seasons. But of course, the further on you go through the spring, the EC tends to lose its chill on that. So for April to get cold, you know, proper cold weather, it tends to come more from the north than from the east. But that is a chilly ridge. It will bring further overnight frost even into start of April, though by day won't be too bad in the April sunshine. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much everybody for doing that. Why not drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. Thank you so very much, everybody, for doing that. We need to put on around 25 subscribers to get ourselves to 15.7k. Now, if you could give us a sub and tell your friends about to subscribe, that would be amazing. Thanks so much. GM, once more, looking unsettled but relatively mild through the early part of next week. Low pressure then starts to move away to the east late next week, pulls in something a little bit cooler or colder from the northwest, and then this next area of low pressure coming into that cold air next weekend, a little bit different to the other model output. This area of low pressure is coming into cold air, and so, it could be a little bit of fun and games with that, more particularly than the northern half of the country, although we finish up by day 10, pulling up quite a mild southerly wind with the GEM, so the GEM's a little bit different today compared to the other model output. And then the ECM WF again showing low pressure in from off the Atlantic Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The conveyor belts of lows continue into next weekend. This low comes a little bit further south, which allows colder air to start digging into the north, so we turn colder through next weekend, especially for more northern areas, with showers turning wintry. By day 10, the next area of low pressure is bringing the next batch of rain in from off the Atlantic. This is the Precipitation Forecast based on that ECM run from spreadshow.com. Wet in the north today, showers further south. Beyond that, tomorrow more rain across the country, and these spells of rain then keep coming through next week in what is a proper onslaught type pattern. Starting to turn cold enough, some snow across the northern half of the country as well by the time we get through to the end of next week. Next weekend, turns drier, but will be quite cold with those winds in from the north. Certainly a risk of overnight frost. More heavy rain gathering just to our west and southwest by the very end of that ECM midnight run. These are the options on the table within the ECM Ensembles today for day 10 from the Icelandic Met Office. Gets us to the 28th of March. 26 members of the ECM Ensembles with low pressure to the east, high pressure blocking around Greenland, low pressure to the west and southwest, and high pressure is over France. So it's all going on there. We're trying to bring cold air in from the north, but also trying to pull up milder air from the southwest. It's probably going to be where the front's the map that's marking the boundary. And then 14, climate control and the operation run with the low pressure through the country in combination with high pressure over Greenland. That could definitely get some cold air into the north, but probably not too cold down in the south. And then 11, this is the coldest option really, I think, with high pressure again blocking around Greenland, but the low pressure is more to our east and southeast, and so that would have a wind in from a cold north or northeasterly direction there. And then in 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. It gets us to the 2nd of April. 26 members of the ECM Ensemble still bring low pressure through the country, although a little bit further northwards and some higher pressure over France might bring something a bit drier into the south. That's also turning a bit milder as well, with winds more from west-southwesterly direction. And then 25, so it's virtually a 50-50 split. 25 with a trough of low pressure centred to our east. And that could well be bringing some quite cold air from the northwest or even from the north. CFS Weeklies finally, these are 500 millibar high knowledge broken down into week periods. The first week period takes us from the 18th to 24th of March. The coming week has low pressure in from off the Atlantic, so it's going to be unsettled, but should be relatively mild with winds in from a west or a southwesterly direction. Week 2 is going to be the 25th to the 31st of March. The low pressure goes eastwards then. High pressure towards the north of Greenland, interestingly, and down towards Spain. So that's probably going to be bringing in a chilly northwesterly wind there, possibly going northerly through the last week of March. Week 3 will be the 1st to the 7th of April. A mid-Atlantic ridge heading up towards Greenland. Low pressure to our north and northeast. At the very least, that looks chilly again, with winds from a northwesterly direction. And then finally, week 4. And it looks a little bit grim, I have to say. There's still no sign of any sustained dry spring-like weather. This is the 8th to the 14th of March. Low pressure, again, centred over just to the west of the country. It's probably going to be relatively mild because the wind will be coming up from the southwest with that. But it looks unsettled with showers or longer spells of rain, and it won't be too much longer now, through April into May before westerlies start becoming a cooler wind direction. Of course, we've been through the period of the year through the autumn and winter where westerly is the mildest wind direction, but when you get towards summer, westerly actually becomes a cooler wind direction than especially southerlies, but particularly sort of easterlies. So in winter, easterlies will be colder than westerlies. In summer, easterlies will be milder than westerlies, or warmer, hotter than westerlies. So it won't be too much longer now before charts like this. So if you get a chart like this, an anomaly like this in July, that is grim. It's going to be unsettled, and it will be quite cool as well in July. It's not going to be too much longer now before westerly doesn't actually mean overly mild and could actually mean, a bit on the cool side. Anyway, never mind about that. I'm off on a tangent. So we'll stop the video there and wrap things up. Thank you so much, everybody. If you enjoyed the video, please you like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. Drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. And don't forget to tell your friends and family about GavsWeatherVids. And we thank you so very much, everybody, for doing that for us. As I say, we think we're on around 25 subscribers, something like that, to get to 15.7k. So it could give us that would be absolutely fantastic. Thanks so much. Right, just so coming to running down 6 a.m. upload, the third update for summer 2023 will be on the way back, talking at winter to summer days. We did February to summer last week, going to do winter to summer this week, and there'll be a 10 to 14 dayer as well, so plenty of content to come. You enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and for this video, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.